All right. Looks like everything's on. All right. Hello. Welcome back. This is Sentient Cloud. So, as the description of the stream indicates, I am going to work on making it so that this project can use and make libraries and, you know, improve the interface. Because as it stands, I think the only things it really supports are, let's see, it supports build, supports run. New is kind of sketchy. Help just says help me, and there's no interface for testing or anything like that. So those are things that I want to work on today. So I went ahead and I made a project header and source file, and so I'm going to have a structure that kind of manages all of this. It will read the project files and just kind of go from there. Okay. I'm not going to touch this for the moment, but one thing I do want to do is I want to just go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to copy the current binary to the main folder because I want to make sure that I don't lose it, basically. Otherwise, when I hit build, it always overwrites the original or the older version, and I don't necessarily want it to do that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, let's begin and get back to it. So I've got a bunch of predefined paths here, and let's see. So create's fine. I'm going to go ahead and make all of these into definitions. All these are returning void at the moment, but I may end up having to have them return some error code in the future, depending on what they do. Okay. So we've got this project file, and that is going to, let's see, you open a new file from a path. Is there an easy way to do that? I guess I'll just go with okay, there we go. Okay. So that's going to make a configuration. This is going to be the project configuration file. And then need to start putting stuff in. Okay. As you can see, I've got two different types here. I've got a project type bin and project type lib. And those are going to be determined based on the arguments you provide. So in the case of the kind of standard usage, it's just going to assume that you want a binary. Otherwise, if you specify, it'll create a library. Yeah, and my plan is to have it so that you can init from inside a directory with whatever name you want, but that's not going to be what create does necessarily. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'll think about that. For now, I'm just going to assume that that's an invalid usage. Okay. Just going to close it for now. Let's see. So project file. And then yep. All right. So top will have project. And typically TOML files will have strings or I think integers is like you can put integers in there. I think you can put Boolean. If I'm not mistaken. Just make sure I've got this right. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it supports Booleans, numbers, and strings, it looks like. I guess it also supports dates. So that's good. Yeah, okay, anyway. Back to this, so name is going to be there. Let's go ahead and say author. This is something that I'm not going to specify. I suppose, like for me personally, I could always put in my own name, but I'm not going to do that here. Oh, that needs to be new line. Then version, just going to start it as 0.1.0. We can append strings like this. Actually, I think you can just provide it with the date, and that will work fine. So we'll just leave it as a non-string. Yeah, okay. Jeez. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Target. Okay, hold on, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, so created, that's all fine. I'm gonna go ahead and move this up level. Move this down a level. Just mix up a little more space. And then I need a, let's see, I need two strings, name.c string. And then I need the date, so let's go ahead and get that. It's actually a bit overkill. Let's go with this. Time, hold on. As you can see, I already kind of tried implementing this and it worked okay, but the main file was becoming a bit spaghetti. So decided not to do that. AMD. Okay. Now, just throw a buff in there. I think that's everything I need for printf. Okay. Now, the reason I went ahead and did that first is the next step here is going to require some decision making, because if I'm making a binary, then obviously I want the binary here to be specified. If I'm making a library, then I want to specify the name of that library. So, and there are also different files that I want to make. So if I'm making a binary, I want to make sure there's a bin folder. If I'm making a library, I want to make sure there's a lib folder. Also, if I'm including libraries, then I do want it to make that, but that's a separate issue. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so let's start here. I've got sources. I'm not gonna list the sources. I think that's necessary because I'm already making the dependencies, and those are not something that's by default exposed to the user. What else do I want? I'm gonna want a git ignore. And also a dot clang d, probably, based on the version of the compiler that I'm using. So, and obviously depending on if the person is actually going to use clang d as their language server, that I don't think I'll actually include that. That will be something I'll let the user decide on, because there are different ways that people do that. Anyway, okay. So we've got the tests folder. I need to hold on. Actually, use single quotes for, doesn't look like that's standard. That's okay then. All right. Okay. So here we'll put in string, and that will take the binary. And compiler. Let's see that. Yeah, we can do that there. That's fine. Okay. So say user bin ++. That may not be strictly necessary, but it's probably best to specify rather than relying on the path to do all the work there. And let's see. think I want to make flags a separate heading. Yeah, let's do that. So flags, and file. And that's going to take a string. Actually, no, it'll take specify a default. So we need like this. Okay. C3 all dash Wextra. Debug. This is going to just be -G for now. I may add -PG, which is for performance profiling, but yeah. But for now, I'm not going to do that. And then release flags are going to be optimization and -D and debug. Okay. Also need libraries. Okay. Assume that that is empty. Oh, oops, hold on. And I also want to put in something for includes. Ooh. New line there. Just new line at the end. Okay. So that should be everything I need. Let's be a binary. Cool. Either of those need to do that, so I'll go ahead. Open. everything is going to have tests. So go ahead and if printf, and here have to see what's it? That's not quite it. Here we go. Okay. Just going to go ahead and bring this over. I just bring... I don't want to do that because otherwise it would screw things up. What I can do is define it up here. So we'll do expression test contents and specify, because none of this is going to change. Let's go. Specify this is an HPP. escaped properly. Let's do this. Hold on. Right. Okay, so that should create a test.h, all the stuff it needs. Let's close it. So this doesn't need to exist. That will be determined when I read project file. Okay, and then here, got main. Close this here. Okay, so first things first, include print. In the project name here. All right, cool. And let's see. So I think that's everything I need for that. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I just realized. Okay. Okay. Let's try this then. See what we end up with. Oh, actually, So I need to make sure this is all hooked up. Okay. We'll just get rid of that. Oops. Bin. Let's get rid of these. Hold of this because it's no longer. Actually, I'll just comment it out. I don't want to get rid of this because this is stuff I worked hard on, and I want to make sure that I don't just lose all of the brain power I spent on that. Let's go down here. Okay. Okay, that's those. All right, cool. So do this. Build. Okay, we'll just do this by hand. Let's go. Slash build project in. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and try. Is that? Okay, so something about. Okay, so. Secure. Okay. All right, what's going on? So we need to go to here. Or test. Okay, let's try running this again. There's boundary error. So what's going on there? Okay. Something before there. It's making the file. Hmm. Okay. It's probably not happening. Yeah, here. That would actually make perfect sense. Let's try just commenting that out for a minute. It's not strictly necessary. Go through this whole rigmarole. Okay. This up. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. The one thing I see wrong, so I'm going to turn this into a string. This isn't being reported properly. This is missing the terminating string, so sorry, terminating quote. So that needs to be dealt with. What else? Yeah, and then it's got test project bin, test project. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Anyway, okay. So, and if we go to main, okay, that looks a little ugly, but that's roughly what I want. Okay, so it's in the part that builds. Just gonna delete this. Just get rid of that. Okay, so it's in here. Let me just go here real quick. This needs T front. So what's this? Okay. Test contents dot data. Test contents dot length. Well, I guess we'll just do this. Provide it with a C string. Nope. Jeez. Blanking there for a second. Okay. All right. All right, so I removed it. Let's build this. Make sure to build the actual binary itself. And just boundary error. Okay, so there's something funky going on with the string, it seems. I don't know why. Maybe just do that. Like, there shouldn't be a problem, but it appears that there is one, and very confused as to why. Let's go in here and fix all these real quick. Okay. Pretty sure that's everything incorrectly. So I'm building a build system for C++ because I've been fighting with tools like make and so on for a while, and I'm kind of tired of having to do all the work for it. So I'm making something that will hopefully prevent me from having to do that in the future. Okay. Okay, so then... Okay, why is that? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what's going on. Hold on. Hold on. That's probably what's going on. Okay. So... do that. Build. No. No, that's not it. Okay. What is going on? I don't think I've actually ever heard of that. Build essential. What does that do? Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think that would work for what I'm doing, but it looks interesting. It reminds me of oh gosh, what is it? Is it make package? I think that's what it's called. Um, but I don't know if that I don't think that would solve my problem. So, yeah. Right. And like the issue there is I'm pretty sure that like with make package, it requires. Sorry, hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. Let's see, system config, yeah, yada yada. Yeah, and so you need the configuration file with make package in order for it to do its thing automatically. I don't know how package or yeah, package essential, is that what it was called? Build essential, excuse me. I don't know how that works specifically, but it's not quite what I'm doing here. Okay. Let's go move that real quick. That's not what I needed. We'll do because this is basically a C string. So escapes. I think that's correct. Escape characters. Okay. Starts backslash or backslash. Tab. Quite what? Let's see. Specifiers. Here we go. Okay. What does the... Yeah, I've heard of Dino. Not particularly fond of TypeScript or JavaScript. So, like, of the two, TypeScript is better, but it's barely better. Um, and that doesn't really, again, doesn't really solve the problem that I'm having. So, um, and to be clear, I think most languages that are most common scripting languages like JavaScript or Lua or whatnot have some kind of foreign function interface. Okay. Where is... Okay, so it doesn't say if there's any specific problem with those. So what is going on here? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? This is... Just going to go ahead and... excuse me. Do this. Okay. Okay. So it's still unhappy. Let's see. So is it just unhappy in principle with this? I am definitely not a pro, but I am particularly interested in lower level development. So oh, shouldn't have done that. Okay. Okay, so it does not like that one. Am I doing something stupid? Maybe that's what I'm screwing up. Certainly it's possible. No, where's the guy? Okay. Don't tell me that this is... Oh, wait a minute. This is what caused all that headache. I'm going to be annoyed. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's annoying. Merry Christmas. Okay. Oh, that was stupid of me. Okay, so presumably then all of this is actually fine. Just screwed up that part. Hold on. It's always the parts you least expect. I'm going to collapse these together. Okay. Okay, now let's inspect what we get. So we've got build, that should be empty, and it is. Main.cpp, it's got a very basic... Oh, no, shoot, I want to do that. And we got a pretty good project description file. Okay. That's great. Okay. That, I think, so it's been about an hour here. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But this is good progress. I'll be able to pick this up. I'll probably continue working on it, you know. But, yeah. Okay. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you again next time.